Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the AIIA Annual General Meeting. It's a great pleasure to be here today with you at Telstra's premises, and I would like to start the day by thanking them for their generosity in hosting us today. It's my pleasure to welcome board members, council chairs, special interest group members and members of the AIIA team to this meeting. Today's meeting is being not streamed but rather recorded and will be made available to our members after these proceedings. And we're also making this meeting available via conference bridge. So shortly I'll be doing a roll call and asking people to call their names for the purposes of the minutes from the conference bridge. And then we'll do the same for the purposes of the minutes for those in the room. So before I proceed, Glenn Buttolan is our Company Secretary. He's also going to be checking for proxies that are held shortly in the proceedings. Glenn at the end of the table. So let's start with identifying who's on the conference bridge. Thank you. Gil, welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Gil. Do we have any other members on? Thank you, Ms. McIntosh. Welcome. Any other members? Good morning, Peter. Welcome. Any other members on the conference bridge? No other members? We do have the AIIA team in Canberra on the conference bridge. Can we just get the names of those members of the team?
Nicole Campbell.
Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to you all. And now if we move around the room here in Adelaide. Michael Pym.
Michael Pym. Robert Hillard from Deloitte. Charles Lindop. David Goads from Microsoft. Martin Woodcock. Glenn Baldwin. Steve Rose. Phil Catley, Telstra.
Catherine Ford, Intel. Suzanne Roach, AIIA.
Byron Reeson, AIIA.
Leighton Jenkins, AIIA.
John Padarides, AIIA.
Kate Burley, Intel.
Peter McGrath, the Director.
Elizabeth Vega, Informed Solutions.
Murray Johnson.
Jan Gibrackman, Avnan.
Key Wong.
Key Wong, and someone at the door who was in the wrong meeting. So obviously we have a quorum. Our constitution calls that we need to have 7 members, full members in the meeting for it to be accepted as an annual general meeting. So with those 2 matters out of the way, Glenn, can I just check what proxies you might be holding for other members?
I have 2 proxies. One for John Grant. Proxy to Key Wong. Peter, who's actually on the call, so it's not a proxy anymore. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Are there any other proxies being held? No, thank you. So now it's my great pleasure, with those small matters out of the way, to introduce Key Wong, Managing Director of Eccentric Innovation and AIIA Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the AIIA AGM for 2014. And again, I'd like to echo thanks to Telstra for hosting this AGM this year. And as I said last night, I love the city of Adelaide. Always nice to come back here, any occasion, and particularly when we can have an AGM and a board meeting here. The AIIA Board of Directors and the management team, the secretariat led by Suzanne, the CEO, has continued to focus this year on our 3-year strategy. And it basically looks at how we continue to grow and develop the ICT industry, how we drive the digital economy, and how we continue to build industry capability. All this not forgetting that we have a membership business and how we continue to deliver exceptional member value and developing a strong and sustainable industry association. Later on, Suzanne will outline the key activities, events, and achievements of AIIA for 2014. Her presentation will then be followed by Suzanne also conveying the Treasurer's report, which will provide an update on AIIA's financial performance for the year. This financial year saw the AIIA launch and lead the Smart ICT 2014, which is a vision of sustained national prosperity powered by smart digital economy. Smart ICT and ICT in general is the 21st century driver for growth, productivity, and global competitiveness and innovation across all sectors of our economy. And this platform envisions a society using smart ICT to create a vibrant and globally competitive economy. The global and Australian economic outlook continues to be subdued. And it is this sort of circumstances and challenging times that we will have to continue to strive to deliver exceptional member value to our members. The board and the secretariat have worked tirelessly to maintain and increase the member database and will continue to focus on this priority area. The challenge for the association is to continue to grow and maintain profitability well into the future. And we can only achieve this goal with the valuable support of our members. One of our key engagement areas is to motivate and work with our key stakeholders, and the coming period will see us to continue our focus on enhancing the relationship with our federal government and to support and grow our industry, delivering a successful event in Canberra in March called Navigating the Internet of Things, and engaging our members across the states and territories in development of policies and advocating initiatives that will help us develop the causes and our charter for our members. And this particular upcoming period will also see us implement a new website and a database for association. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank my fellow board members, Andrew Stevens from IBM and the Deputy Chairman, Russell Yardley from Redify and the Treasurer, John Grant from Data 3 and immediate past Chairman, Ian Bertram from Gartner, Tom Stianos from SMS, Kate Burley from Intel, Marie Johnson from Centre for Digital Business, Pete Marlowe from Microsoft, Peter McGrath from NextGen, Jayan Jivaratnam from Avanade, Rob Hillard from Deloitte, John Padoridis from Optus, Michael Pym from Two Hats Travel, Ian White, formerly from Oracle Corporations, and Joe Doyle from Agilon Australia. I'd like to particularly make a note to Andrew Stevens, who has been a tremendous deputy chairman for me. 2014 has been a very challenging year and quite hands-on from the board's perspective, and Andrew's support has made my role as chairman relatively easy. He has retired from his role as managing director for IBM Australia and New Zealand and did not seek for re-election this year. Also, Russell Yardley, the treasurer, and Ian Bertram have also not stood for re-election this year. Also to note that Ian White has resigned and stepped down from his role as the board of AIIA, and therefore has created a casual vacancy to be decided at our board meeting as a replacement. So all of them have made significant contribution during their time on the board, and I wish them all well in their endeavors, and I look forward to the next opportunity to work with them. I would now like to hand over the proceedings back to our CEO, Suzanne Campbell.
Thank you, Key. Well, thank you very much, Key. And this year was one of quite considerable financial consolidation, building a more sustainable, relevant and active AIIA, with growth in particular in our government, advocacy and public relations work on behalf of our members. Over the financial year, I've met with members and stakeholders in all states and territories, excluding the Northern Territory. I'm sorry, Steve, I haven't quite got to that part of your domain yet. Welcomed and maintained strong relationships with federal and state governments. Worked with our AIIA team to deliver exceptional member value, providing industry leadership, achieving our strategic goals and priorities, and creating a more profitable and sustainable industry association. Working with our councils and our special interest groups, we've built and maintained strong relationships and increase the AIIA's profile by actively engaging with the media to promote and represent the interests of our members. During the year, your high-performing AIIA team has worked with board members, council chairs, special interest groups, members and stakeholders to deliver exceptional member value through advocacy, programs, events and activities. All of this work has been undertaken in a manner which has been aligned to the AIIA strategic framework for 2012 to 2015. The framework was developed in 2012 by a subcommittee of the then board and obviously will need to be reviewed in 2015. That process will be the subject of discussion this afternoon at the AIIA board meeting, and I anticipate that board members, council chairs and members will be part of that review process. Also during the year, within the context of our membership value and growth strategy, we set out to more clearly define our value proposition to members. This work was undertaken in collaboration with Kate Burley, Managing Director for Intel in Australia and New Zealand and AIIA Director, and former council chairs Charles Lindop, who's with us here today, and Fulvio and Sarah from the Mastermind Group in Victoria. Following the board's approval of the strategy in March 2014, recruitment was initiated and we've subsequently had Leighton Jenkins, Samantha Vorza and Elaine Shields join the AIIA team and join the challenge of delivering great value. With them on board, we've also commenced implementing other aspects of the strategy and will continue to do that work this year. This process will be informed by our members. This year, the AIIA Annual Membership Survey was distributed to 5,500 approximately members with 200 approximately responses. This 3.5% response rate, I'm led to believe, is a sound indicator of good membership engagement and well supported by our members. In addition, in September, we asked our members to respond to a pulse survey which was distributed to baseline our members' preferences in relation to many aspects of the new CRM and CMS systems. This survey also asked an additional question in relation to membership satisfaction. Responses to that question clearly indicate members continue to be very satisfied with most all aspects of our operation, but also clearly highlights areas for improvement, as pointed out in the slide behind me. At this point, I had proposed to introduce our outgoing Treasurer, Russell Yardley, to provide his report. Unfortunately, at short notice, he's not able to join us today, and so he's asked me to read to you his following report. So, the company is a not-for-profit organisation representing the interests of member companies in information and communications technology sector. The company generates the majority of its revenue from membership fees and from its member companies. Membership fees are based on member company revenues. The company has established a robust set of policies and procedures for financial management. These include a rigorous approach to audit and risk management. Policies are supported by a risk register that is reviewed and updated biannually. The Executive Committee sits as the Audit and Risk Committee in March and October each year. The Association booked a profit for the year ended 30 June of $323,465, an increase of, which is a 42% decrease from the last financial year that ended 30 June 2013. Our auditors restated our 2013 and 14 accounts to reflect that advice. The net impact on our P&L was a reduction of income in 2014 of $108,815 and an increase of $16,332 in 2013. Importantly, there's been no impact on the balance sheet. Revenue was higher than last year by approximately $146,195, and importantly, members' equity continued to increase in the last 3 years. We've increased member equity in that period from 198,286 as at June 30, 2011 to 1.822378 million as of 30 June 2014. The major threat to our company's revenue is a reduction in the number of member companies, as our membership has now fallen below 250 members in 2014. The increase in members' equity, however, has allowed the company to build its cash reserves. This solid base is generating sufficient surpluses to be sustainable and allowing the company to make major and important investments in resources to address the decline in membership. The company's financial results have been a combination of tight financial management and strong support from the board, exco and state councils. This is definitely a significant achievement and one that the organisation should recognise and thank the CEO, the Finance Director and all of the staff. With this strong financial position, the company board can confidently say the company has and will be able to meet its obligations as and when they fall due. The company must continue tight financial management, especially given the uncertain economic climate and the disruption currently taking place in our industry. I'd like to thank the CEO, our Financial Director and all of the staff in achieving another exceptional financial result and look forward to another successful year with the support of our valued members. Russell Yardley, Treasurer, 2011-2014. Thank you. In the ordinary course, we'd pause at this point and ask for questions to Russell. In his absence, I'll ask if we can proceed through my presentation and we'll do questions at the end. Is that acceptable? Thank you. So while Russell is correct in identifying member numbers as a real and present challenge for the AIIA, the financial year did in fact see the highest membership revenue in 8 consecutive years. And our membership was supported by our councils, our special interest groups, government and advocacy, public relations, funded projects and events. These provided a robust baseline for the full implementation of our membership growth strategy and also the Squiz project. With these in place, the AIIA will be transformed, I hope, from a discretionary industry association to an essential business partner. And I'm just looking at my assistant here, hoping that he's going to tab forward just now, past these 2 slides to there. That's lovely. Thank you. Thanks very much, Byron. So our council chairs are fundamental to the AIIA's success. They work with our councils and support our members. They engage with government. The chairs in particular are dedicated, committed and drive to create outcomes in states and territories with governments and with oppositions. This year, the council chairs have generously applied their senior leadership skills and experience to the work of the AIIA. Our chairs today are Greg Borer at Canberra Data Centres in the ACT, Jodie Walton at Harrison Macmillan in South Australia, Simon Kaplan at NICTA in Queensland, Rebecca Campbell-Burns at SMS Management and Technologies in Victoria, Paul Wilkins at Agilon in Western Australia, and Michael Neary at NextGen in New South Wales. After extended periods of contribution, this year saw the retirement of Shirley Routley at Telstra in West Australia, Fulvia and Sarah from the Mastermind Group in Victoria, and Michael Lucic from Telstra here in South Australia. I and the board and my team members all want to thank them for their extraordinary and significant contribution to the AIIA and to the ICT industry in their states and territories and more broadly. We'll miss them and we look forward to working with their successors. Our special interest groups are another essential asset of the AIIA and they've continued to thrive this year under the new governance and policy arrangements adopted in 2013. We currently have 21 active special interest groups, these enabling networks for collaboration and inspiration cover vertical interest groups such as health and education, mining. Looking down the table here at Steve Rowe, we've got the chair of the mining group in the room with us. Mining, retail and environmental issues. And we've got Gil Thu on the call and also in front of you on the screen. He's heading up the special interest group looking at sustainability. So we've also got cross-sector interest groups including cloud, security, innovation and legal and regulatory issues amongst them. Our government special interest groups in Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia and Western Australia have a strong local presence and influence, as particularly well demonstrated last night here in Adelaide with the Premier present. Importantly, all have made significant contributions to ensure the AIIA's relationships are sound on a local basis and continue to deepen and drive to achieving results on behalf of our members. Most special interest groups are guided by work plans that they've developed, and I'm really excited to see outcomes such as the National Procurement Framework, which has been developed by the Legal SIG, an analysis of security issues, risks and gaps by the Security SIG, the release of a monthly newsletter by the Health SIG, and the development of a speakers program as part of the Education SIG. Finally, sponsorship of research of the Environmental SIG by our members demonstrates members' continued commitment above and beyond ordinary membership commitments, and that's fantastic to see. In support of our broader engagement with government, as Key has already said, in March this year we launched Smart ICT 2014, a vision for sustained national prosperity. The platform was built on the very successful 2013 policy agenda, which demonstrated real value to our members and drove policy change, raising the profile of the AIIA as an influencer and thought leader. The Smart ICT Agenda focuses on the role of digital technology in supporting what's essential to our national prosperity, economic growth, productivity, global competitiveness and social benefit. And to date, key outcomes, and I'm going to claim them all, the successful advocating for change on employee share options as recently announced by our Prime Minister, the successful advocating for change to the federal government's cloud policy, so the ridiculous need for 2 levels of government sign-off has been replaced by 1 sign-off only, securing funding to support the delivery of the Digital Careers Program so that we can engage as staff member Tim McKay to lead that program for us nationally, and the launching of the Market Insights series with Austrade, underscoring our commitment to growing our members in not just Australia but around the world. Our government and advocacy activities have been led by Suzanne Roche, who I'm sure you'll all agree has done an outstanding job. And she, Sharon Kennard and Dan Appleton have made over 35 written submissions on a broad range of issues on behalf of our members on subjects including electronic health, copyright, skills, 457 visas, STEM, ICT education, procurement, e-waste, security, privacy, competition policy and innovation. They've also successfully advocated for an increased use or focus on the use of digital technology to improve government and its efficiency in response to the National Commission of Audit. And we were very pleased to see the Commission of Audit pick up a number of our recommendations in relation to outsourcing, the effective use of data and data analytics, the acceleration of government's e-government commitments, the implementation of cloud-first strategy, and recommendations in relation to personally controlled e-health reports. They've also responded to the government's competition policy review and also the Senate inquiry into government procurement. Finally, during the years, Suzanne and her team have supported the AIIA by taking a more proactive engagement with our peer organisations, domestically and internationally, including Digital Europe, Tech UK, WITSA, Enterprise Ireland, the ITIC and NASCOM, just to name a few. They've actively participated in international trade negotiations in support of TPP and co-signed representations to international officials on tariff and ITA arrangements. Building on the work of the Government and Advocacy Program, the AIIA has achieved 152 media mentions in the financial year. And throughout the year, we frequently featured in top-tier publications, including the Financial Review, the Sydney Morning Herald, and the Australian. We've owned special areas of interest to our members, ESOPs, the Entrepreneurs Infrastructure Program, and the federal government's digital economy strategy. And we've worked with board members, including Key Wong, Rob Hillard, Pip Marlowe, who's not here today, but his centre alternate David Gage, and John Grant, all of whom have added weight to the AIIA's statements, interviews, and given the organisation increased strength and credibility. Reflecting this level of activity, it's not a surprise that our clout score remains constant throughout the financial year at approximately 45, an increase from 21 when we first commenced measurement. During the year, we've also successfully delivered funded projects. This year, in the financial year that we're talking about, the AIIA Awards with our host partners, the Australian Computer Society and the Piercy Foundation, the Queensland Government Partners in Technology, the PIT program, delivered in conjunction with the AIIA Queensland Council, and the SA Mining ICT program plan, delivered in conjunction with the AIIA South Australia Council and the Mining, Energy and Resources SIG. In addition, new contracts were signed with the ACT Collaborate program, a 2-year extension in these uncertain times, an extraordinary outcome by Rob Miller and the Collaborate Committee in the ACT. Digital Careers, which I referred to earlier, with Tim McKay, recruited to lead industry engagement for this important program and position the AIIA for national influence in the skills agenda. And finally, the Victoria ICT Industry Development Program with another 2-year extension to be delivered in conjunction with our event partner in Victoria and the Victorian Council. Successful events in the financial year saw those major events at the AIIA Navigating Analytics Summit in March and also the AIIA Awards in August 2013. In 2013, the AIIA Awards program saw a 42% increase in overall national nominations. The program included Australia 3.0 and Masterclass, delivered in collaboration with the Piercy Group. And of course, we secured Hills as a major sponsor with the announcement of the Hills Young Innovator of the Year Award to be implemented in this financial year, 2014. The more regular events occurred across the country, 91 of them in fact, high-impact events delivered in collaboration with our members and our event partners. And through these, we continued to build a strong sense of community. We also achieved financial outcomes which were better than forecast and grew sponsorship revenue by nearly 50% in the financial year in relation to those events. In addition, we provided a new national events series to our members in collaboration with Intermedium. This series also exceeded our forecasts and expectations and provided a platform for increased profile and engagement at the highest levels of government, with Gordon Rich Phillips in Victoria joining us, along with Philip Gaetschen, for example, in New South Wales, Brett Rouse here in South Australia, Anne Nolans in Western Australia, Andrew Mills in Queensland, and in the ACT, Chris Turnbull, Abel Risby, the then Deputy Secretary of the Department of Communications. All of these activities create the baseline upon which we can build our new AIIA, and an important part of the new AIIA is replacing our current CRM and CMS systems. This project is being led by Robin Spencer, where work began to replace our website and our member engagement system in 2013. We've continued that work through 2014, discussing our needs with members and stakeholders and developing business requirements going to market for a new system. After a detailed examination of requirements and options in July 2014, the board has approved the business case to replace the current YM system and web management system with a Sugar CRM and Squiz Matrix solution. This new system investment is very significant to us and will provide with systems design, development, implementation from Squiz, new membership sales, engagement and group management reporting capability. The new website will provide interface and management content, allowing us to communicate more effectively and also in an omni-channel manner with our members and our stakeholders. Very excited about this new project and what it will mean to the AIIA. As we go about our business in this new financial year, we're seeking to ensure that all of our actions are underpinned by our values and continued commitment to our members. As you can hear, the year has been an extraordinary one and supported by a number of team members who are not with us today and who I haven't called yet by name. So I'd particularly like now to recognise the extraordinary contribution of Jen Pitt, Glenn Bortolan, Debbie Davis, Nicole Campbell and Andrew Brown. For their part, they've ensured that today's AGM has been a great success, and they're also committed every day to delivering exceptional member value. On that note, that draws to a close my report. May I call for questions from the floor? Thank you. Any questions?
I think we still get people on the phone.
Yeah. Any questions on the con call? No questions? All right. So Charles was kind enough to point out that while I did a number of administrative things at the top of the meeting, I failed to ask you to review the minutes of the last AGM. So my apologies for that matter. We'll cover that at the end. Let me move now to the board election process. The AIIA National Board of Directors election was held in October 2019. The objective was to elect 5 new board members for a term of 3 years each. The election process was conducted, as it has been over the last couple of years, by Election Consulting Group. 19 candidates stood for the election in a first-past-the-post process. The final result of the count in respect of the Board of Directors was to elect Charles Lindop, Elizabeth Vega, Peter Strokob, Pitt Marlowe and Ted Pretty. So I'd like you all to join with me in welcoming those new members to the board. Now, if we can loop back to the top of the meeting and pick up on the minutes of the AGM. The minutes were distributed as part of the preparation for today's meeting, and for those who were in attendance last year, if I could ask, are there any comments in relation to the minutes from last year? No comments? Could I ask someone to move that the minutes be accepted? Jayan, thank you. Rob, second. Thank you very much for that. If there are no further questions, we'll call the meeting to a close. Thank you all for joining us, for your time and your attention and your extraordinary contribution to the AIIA. Thank you.